There was nothing protecting her when they allowed her to walk out that door based on policy and procedure.
What really happened to Mitrice Richardson? Mitrice LaVon Richardson was born April 30th, 1985. Mitrice was the daughter of Lettice Sutton and Michael Richardson. She was raised by her mother and stepfather, Larry Sutton, in California. Mitrice obtained a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology in 2008 from California State University, after graduating from South Hills High School in West Covina, California. She also worked as an entertainer while planning to attend graduate school. She worked in a popular lesbian nightclub, attended a Playboy Mansion's Hot Summer Nights party as a guest model, and competed as a beauty pageant contestant.
What one technological advancement do you wish had never been invented?
Cell phones. Although when you're stranded, they help contact your family in the need of a spare tire or just in any need of emergency, but they also cause a lot of accidents and they cause a lot of friendships from forming, because as soon as people get out of class, the first thing they want to do is talk on their cell phones. So I just wish that cell phones would be limited to just emergencies only.
On the evening of September 16th, 2009, Richardson entered the parking lot of Jeffrey's restaurant in Malibu. Due to what staff and patrons at the restaurant described as bizarre behavior and the fact that she was unable to pay her $89 bill, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department was called to assess her condition. The officers on the scene administered a field sobriety test and determined that she was not intoxicated and not under the influence of any substance. She was arrested on charges of suspicion of not paying for the meal and possession of less than an ounce of marijuana. Although Mitrice's mother informed the station of concern for her daughter's mental health, and despite promises from the station personnel that she would not be released until the next morning, Richardson was released on September 17, 2009 at 12:28 a.m. with no belongings and no means of calling for assistance. It was stated that Mitrice was released from jail arresting officers. She exhibited no signs of mental illness. Her phone, purse, and money were secured in her car, and her car was towed to later at 6:30 a.m. Richardson was detained and booked at the Malibu Sheriff's Station. News anchor Bill Smith. When Smith opened his window and asked if she was okay, she told Smith that she was resting. Neighbors stated that they heard a woman's voice in the tennis court of Smith's home. Others stated that they heard and saw Richardson either leaving or attempting to enter Smith's home, and that she had been in the presence of a man who frequented the home for a few days after her disappearance. Neighbors also stated that they heard loud screams in a vacant home around the time that Richardson went missing. They stated that the police were called. Unfortunately, Mitrice had disappeared. 2010, 4 months after she was reported missing, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department conducted one of the largest scale searches in the history of the department. Over 300 volunteers trained in search and rescue operations participated in the 18 square mile search in the area of Malibu Canyon. The search included both air and ground searches of creeks, trails, and ridges. Richardson was not found on this search, unfortunately. Richardson's family was assisted in a 2-day search on June 5th and 6th, 2010 in the Monte Nido area of Malibu Canyon. Over 100 private citizen volunteers participated in the search of the area. Although Richardson's remains were not discovered, searchers found racially and sexually offensive graffiti on the walls of a covert in the canyon. The graffiti was freshly painted, and paint cans, brushes, and other potential evidence were left at the scene. Mitrice's remains were eventually discovered in a creek bed in Malibu Canyon. The area that she was found is near a ranch that is known for producing pornography. It is a very secluded area and has direct access to the creek bed itself. When her body was discovered, the detectives on the case removed her body against the order of the coroner. Though residents reportedly heard screams in that area several nights after Richardson disappeared, her death was deemed to not be a homicide because there was no foul play. Mitrice's family has filed several lawsuits against the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department for releasing her from jail, even though they claim she was experiencing severe bipolar episodes at that time. In 2011, her parents, who had sued separately, were rewarded $450,000 each. Richardson's girlfriend, Tessa Moon, refutes claims that Richardson had any mental illness. Richardson's family also asked the California Attorney General's office to review the sheriff's office's handling of the case. In November 2015, after reviewing 500 pages of documents sent with the request, the Office of California then Attorney General Kamala Harris replied that it had not found any grounds for criminal charges against the sheriff or his deputies. The Attorney General's office also found no evidence that the sheriff's office had mishandled Richardson's family complaint against it. However, in January 2016, the California Attorney General's office reversed itself and announced it was beginning a criminal investigation of the case. Till this day, the family of Mitrice Richardson still doesn't know what really happened to her. Although Mitrice's remains were found, the case still remains unsolved.